Y'all mind if I gripe, whine, and complain for a little bit? Listen, I think I was watching something 2 days ago, and it's really been on my mind. I didn't know how to deliver this. It's been a while before I've been on social media just talking to an audience that's not there yet. So I'm talking to somebody that's going to listen to me in the next hour or so. So I'm preparing myself to talk to imaginary people. That's what most posters do. But this is what I want to complain and whine about. Pastor Jamal Bryant, I think I'm saying his name right. The brother from Atlanta, the bald-headed pastor, educated guy, slim and trim. I think he was on a podcast with Kid and Play, and they were talking about Objective 2025 or whatever the Directive 2025. And some of the things he mentioned kind of paused me for an alarm. And I'm just going to mention the short end, and then I'm going to talk about the ones that I think are just as important. So they said they're upping the death penalty. I looked at it as if you don't plan on doing anything to get you on a death penalty, what you worried about it for? You know, it's one thing to go concealed carry, because I don't believe in open carry. You're just making yourself a target for foolishness. But, you know, you concealed carry and you thwarting a thief or a fool or somebody who think they got it because they didn't watch too many movies, either on your property or they're about to harm human life. I don't know what the laws are on each individual state. Some states allow you to protect life if you're not on your property or an active shooter event. You're still going to go to court. But if you're not dealing with anything that's going to get you in that type of bind, being on the death penalty should not bother you. Now, I understand shit happens, spur of the moment, bad decisions. But I always believe this. Whether it's a blunt force trauma weapon, whether it be a pipe or a bat or an edge weapon, something sharp or karambit or a poker, a stiletto, or a firearm, shotgun, you know, AR. And, brother, pull your pants up. You goddamn 350 with braids and dreads. Stay on target, stay focused. But, you know, and you just got to be responsible. If you got a weapon on, you got to be responsible. That's the whole thing. The whole prowess is when they make these laws, they're hoping that you'll make good decisions with common sense, because you'd have been through, what, 12 years of 12 years of school. So hopefully you can make a good decision. But that's one of them. The second one was pulling away, I guess, Section 8 welfare or Medicaid or Medicare or Blue Cross, whatever people who can't afford medical coverage. I think they should make a special exception, especially since the food production companies, the distributions of the government, and the laws that rely on the nutrition and food is what's causing autism. Autism used to be 1 in every 10,000 children. Now it's 1 in every 40, 1 in every 32, 1 in every 22. You're not going to tell me that all these women and men got bad DNA. No, it's the food, nutrition, and the vaccines that's causing it. So if a family happens to have an autistic child, their medical, all their stuff should be free. 1 for the family and 2 for the child, whether they're taking advantage of the system or not. The point is, God and actions between man and woman did not make that child that way. People with chemicals of unknown origins and unknown locations with unknown objectives made that baby that way. Okay? Second thing I wanted to mention, if you go to public school, I think I missed one. But if you go to public school, if you go to a historically black college and they're teaching black history, they're going to remove the funding from the college. Well, if it's good for the gander, it should be good for the goose. So if you go to a white college and they teach white history, shouldn't you lose your funding? But here's the problem with that. Most white colleges have very prolific graduates. Some people who are making $200,000, $300,000 plus or more, they're part of the alumni, and they donate money to the school, which they get as a tax write-off. And that what allows the school to maintain certain programs. But my biggest thing is this. As a parent, my wife and I are responsible for our children knowing our history, whether it be our cultural history, our family history, American history, because there's a lot of histories. But the biggest thing that I want my kids to be on is our story, our history, not his story, his story. You get what I'm saying? So I think history should be taken out of the education program anyway. Reason being, most kids, when they go to school, all kids want to play, have fun, until 2nd or 3rd grade come around, and that little itty bitty tiny white teacher lets all the nigga kids know, hey, you guys used to be slaves. Them poor babies didn't know that shit. They didn't need to know that shit. And people always say, well, why black people always talking about racism, slavery? Because y'all keep bringing it up. You think we bring it up? We don't bring it up. You bring it up. Jealousy and envy makes you bring that shit up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened with our ancestors. I don't know if your story is true or you just lying. But something happened between 14-something and 1892 that none of us can really get a hold on. But we're starting to get a hold on. The internet is winning, and the internet is undefeated. Whether it's propaganda, false information, because that's what fact checkers do. Whenever you put something true on Facebook, they always say, oh, this turns out to be a lie. Whenever they fact check your shit, 9 times out of 10 is the truth. I got an intelligence background, trust me. So, and so that whole funding thing, but I really do feel as parents, it's our responsibility to research and divvy out the important parts of history, like our inventors, our engineers, our women that helped NASA co-op all that shit they did, the woman who created GPS, the woman who created the home security system with her husband, the brother that was first in flight with 3 vehicles, hang glider, propeller craft, and he put it on a train to get the shit so he could show it off. And you know who? The other side stole it and destroyed it, so that the Wright brothers were considered number one. See, if it wasn't for our neighbors or the people that coexist with us sabotaging us, we never sabotage y'all. We just say, let fair be fair. And that's why a lot of our younger children, ages 25 or less, they don't give a fuck what we talking about. They don't give a fuck what you talking about. See, what you've done, you've had my grandparents who marched and who stood by the Jim Crow shit and worked it the best way they can. My grandfather was a G. He didn't play around. He drove us around. He had a nice chrome revolver. And he said, I'll get a nigga pregnant real quick. He come in here think he gonna hang us from something. I'll give him 6 babies. But just play fair. Stop sabotaging and then trying to call us like we're a subcategory. We're the top category. If you don't believe me, just look at sports. How many we got left? We got what? Bowling left. We got, what else? Probably, we got some brothers in hockey, but that's left. Volleyball. And whatever that thing is where they throw the weight and somebody scrubs the floor so that the weight hit. I mean, we pretty much took over every sport. But scholastically, our grandparents had to go through this. Our parents went through the marching stuff. And then, we are constantly going through cops just killing us during traffic stops. So our children, and I'm talking about 25 or less or 30 or less, they've watched 3 generations go through you not being part of the contract, not honoring your side of the contract with integrity. I grew up in a generation where, I went to all-white school, boarding school, and, I listened to 80s rock, hip-hop. Hell, I had my homeboy, DJ Rob A. He taught me how to DJ. Yeah, that's some shit when you think about it. A brother like me had to learn how to DJ from a white redhead cat, but it's cool. But I have friends, historical friends, but like the lady was saying, as soon as Obama got in office, those historical friends, not mine, those historical friends became dearly departed. So that whole thing about the history stuff, I wouldn't leave that up to the state because the state lie. I wouldn't leave it up to government because the government lie. The government, if you really want to know the history, get yourself about $6,000, go to the Library of Congress, you'll find out the truth. There's a brother on here named Dana something. Oh man, I can't remember that brother's name, but that brother be on code. He'll tell you everything you need to figure out. But the thing that I really wanted to get on, that was really bothering me, let me get to the point, is they were saying that if you go to a public school, you are going to be involuntarily enlisted in the military. I don't know if it's 3 years, 6 years, whatever it may be. But if you go to a Christian school or a private school or Catholic school, you don't have to go in the military. I hope that's the same that if you're a Muslim as well, or a Jew, or whatever other religion you are. But if you're in a public school system, you are volunteering for the military. Now, let me put this in perspective. I knew at a time, I know Korea does it. I'm pretty sure China used to do it. Japan used to do it. And Germany used to do it. I think it's a good thing. When you look at the caliber of kids we got now, remember you used to play a little game. You whisper something in somebody's ear. Somebody whispered something in somebody's ear, and it went 13 people. By the time it came back to the source, the story was all fucked up. It was all wrong because everybody added their little piece to it. When you have successful parents, you usually have successful children. But what has been going on for the past 40 or 60 years, we've been having successful parents that have lazy parenting skills. They're not really holding kids' feet to the fire. Like a lot of the single moms, and I'm not picking on you, you're not making your boys do what they're supposed to do. You got to give them a little tough love. Let them play some sports, kick their ass off the iPad, make them go outside, let them go. And if you're in the neighborhood where kids are getting shot and cozy, pick for drugs, then you need to get out that neighborhood and find a place where your children can grow in a calm, aesthetic environment. But if you're stuck in the hood, you're stuck in the hood because education and the shitty job, then, afterthought or foresight would say, well, I shouldn't have had kids in these situations. But when you're hiding the pants and you're sleeping with people you ain't got no business sleep with, this is how you end up with children, especially if the babies ain't got no father that you're married to that's called a husband. But my thing is this. A lot of these kids lack discipline. I'm going to give you an example. They're very malnourished. They're very lazy. Everybody's on their phone. I really do think within 12 to 15 years, most children are going to have a long-ass thumb and they're going to have a hump in their neck because they've been on social media for so long. They've got bug eyes because of that screen and all that RF energy is coming off that dangerous-ass cell phone. But I want to say that would be a good thing for you because the reason why we're failing is because the women are not talking life into the men and the men have no reason to be good or great. They really don't. You're not giving them a reason to. See, when I was young, cutting grass, raking leaves, paint fences, working on roofs, and, getting paid under the table, it was good money too, man. But as you get older, you got to get serious and you got to get yourself some education, get yourself a career. There was a lot of things to do in the 80s and the early 90s, but these kids don't have that now. You know what I mean? They don't have that access. Now, they may have something we didn't have. They got the internet. When I had my uncles and my grandfather made me do an oil pan or a distributor cap or headers, on these V8, Chevys, Cadillacs, and Buicks and stuff like that. Boy, that was a life-changing experience. But they motivate me because if I did it right, I was getting paid for it. Rotate tires, doing brakes, bleeding brakes. Like a lot of guys, they don't have the skill to even be able to change a tire. And somebody told me that these boys, some of them don't even know how to pump gas. I'm like, man, come on. I ain't seen that yet. I just hoping that's a rumor. You don't know how to pump gas. Or you just didn't have money on your gas card. I don't know. But I hope that's not true but men and women need each other. And I have a concept that men are the sun, women are the moon, because y'all have your phases. All right. You do control our nature, which is the children we birth. You sprout fruits and vegetables all the time. And our children are the stars. They're the constellations, those 13 constellations that are consistently there, that energy is a good thing. And it has worked so far. And it's crazy now that we are in this era of information and data. Now we want to separate and be rainbows and guys want to be with dudes and women want to be with women. And it's like, what? So our ancestors, and my biggest thing that I keep in my forefront, I think about what my ancestors do, because I pray to my ancestors. I believe there's a geometric observer of design. Y'all call them God or whatever they may call whatever it's doing, whatever. But my biggest thanks I give to are the men and women that created, the men and women that created, the men and women that created, the men and women that created me. Because in me are 4,498 talents from 400 years of ancestors. Every man and woman that made the man and woman that made me gave me talent through DNA and blood. And all I have to do is be in a particular situation for that talent to activate or for me to identify and motivate that talent. Ain't that unique? You can't be a lazy person to activate the talents in your blood. When you call down the ancestors, you got to be in some shit. You know what I mean? Like combat, kickboxing, street violence, bad situation scenes in the club, hard tests, mechanical draftsmanship, aerospace engineering. You get put in situations like, damn, I was good at this. Flight school, little stupid stuff like that. Land nav course or combat engineer course, playing with blanks or sim rounds. It's different situations that can wake up the ancestor in your bloodline. But if you had a lazy handout bloodline, you're not going to activate nothing. And so you have low-hanging fruit people sleeping with low-hanging fruit people, and God, I'm sorry to say this, creating low-hanging fruit children. Easy peasies. Like, I look at the situation scenarios of why do so many men get pulled over? The car is loud, the rims are big. You're making yourself a target acquisition for an angry or very jealous or very racist Whiskey Bravo. That's what you're doing. You're making yourself, like with the dreads and braids, I believe this. If you need employment, you need to look important. But if you have a job or business, motherfucker, you can pierce your face, tattoo your face, wear your hair all the way down your body. Whatever you fucking want to do. Because that's the appearance of your company and your business. But when you're working for somebody else and they cutting your check, you need to get it right, get it tight. Your pants don't need to be sagging. You need to have a professional appearance. You have to have etiquette. You need to be able to say yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Yeah, it's a humbling experience. But you know what else is humbling? Getting promoted, getting more money, being able to bring a little bit of leverage into your home where daddy's the hero. Nothing makes me feel better than when I come home, my kids like, Daddy, mama, or when I cook something for them, or we going to the park, or we playing soccer, or pick a ball or some shit, and people like, well, that must be nice to have that. Well, I work for that, homie. I promised my wife 24 years ago I was going to make it happen, and I've been doing it ever since. You have to have up here what you want to do and what you want to be. And if you're sitting in the hood smoking and toking and joking, and you grapers out here running trains on these babies, ruining their lives, and you wonder why all these 30, 40-year-old women are so bitter at our men, because y'all are making these easy peasy, low-hanging fruit decisions. A lot of these women, man, don't have fathers. And this is not like a pro-female thing. They don't have men in their life. Go ahead, baby, you got it. You good? Go ahead. They don't have men in their life. So they don't know what to expect from a man. And so the only thing you're looking for is physical attributes and which holes you're going to choose. She's trying to please you and trying to be with you because women like cuddling. A lot of women are loving women until they go over too many burnt bridges and they be like, fuck this shit. Men are the same way, you know. We got young men who ain't that attractive, they ain't physically fit, but they loving women, and women are dogging them out, using them for their money. Y'all women are setting these brothers up to get robbed. So any guy doing that, you really got to think to yourself, let me tell you something. The stuff you do as a youth, you're going to pay for in the end, bro. You're going to pay for in the end. I really do know this to be a fact. The energy you put out, it's going to come back to you, man. And it's going to come back in the form of a lost child, lost loved one, lost mom, sick mom, hospital mom and dad, fights with your father, fights with your friends, your best friend sleeping with your girl, finding out your girl had a train ran on his own video. And pain comes in so many different frequencies, waves, altitudes, and attitudes, you know? So you got to, I'm not saying, you know, you ain't got a right to get angry, but what you do to others, it will come back to you. It will either hurt you directly, which ain't much effect if you tough enough, or it may hurt your children, and you ain't got a cure. You can't help the babies. You wonder, why would this happen to my child? Just think back in your childhood, some of the cruel shit you did. I know back in the day, the drug dealers that I used to watch the block for on my bike, and I ain't saying I used to sell drugs, but they used to give me a whistle and pay me money. I see 5-0. Weep. It was easy money, man. I used to make $50 a day. I mean, I wasn't doing that anyway. You know, ride my bike around, staying out of trouble. I didn't mind getting paid by the drug dealers every time I see police. But I noticed when we had black police in the neighborhood, we didn't have that type of activity. It was until the white police came and you started seeing all this drug shit happen. I'm not blaming y'all. I'm just simply saying that's what I saw as a child, as an 80s baby. But the thing that I'm talking about is a lot of people in this society, man, they like discipline, man. Discipline is everything. Find a reason to fight. Find a reason to be fit. Find a reason to have nutrition. You can't just go around saying, I don't care, I don't give a fuck. Man, fuck them, fuck these hoes, fuck this shit. What you say out of your mouth is engineering your future. I'm telling you, man, you got to vibrate higher, brother. I'm telling you, with half a century plus of knowledge and wisdom, you have to vibrate higher. You stay at a low frequency, you're going to go through low frequency shit all the time. You have to change your state of mind. And when you change your state of mind, you're going to change your rhyme. And when you change your rhyme, you're going to change where your behind sits and lies. You see what I'm saying? I don't mean lie like lying theoretically. I'm talking about lying and relaxing, you know? You have to vibrate on a high frequency. Kids love their parents, man. Girls and boys. I'm a girl dad. I got a bunch of girls and 2 boys. My girls love me to death. And that makes me go harder. That's why I stay in shape. I make sure that I'm articulate, because the type of man you are as a father is the type of guy your daughters are going to marry. So if you ain't there, how she know what she going to get? How does she know what to expect? You know what I'm saying? So I think the whole draft thing, and that's what it is, when you got a mandatory to go in the military, 3, 6 to 9 years, whatever it be, I think it's good because, one, you come into the military, you're going to be physically fit. You're going to learn a task and a skill. You're going to live in a barracks where you don't have to pay for no water, no electric. The only thing you have to do is pay for your internet. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to pay for no food unless you plan on eating outside the chow hours. They feed you 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's a good life. You got free gyms. You got gyms all over the place where you can get fit, get your cardio on, you know, do pull-ups, dips, leg lifts. You can change your whole lifestyle. You can change the future of your ancestors. Because the whole goal as a man and a woman, even though you might not be here, you may be 6 feet in the ground, is for your children's children to be saying good things about you, and they ain't never met you. That's the goal of a parent. Like, man, great-great-granddad bought this house and got daggone 2013, man. You know, that boat right there, that boat's 40 years old. And then his grandson's son bought a different boat. You know what I'm saying? Because all you have to do is start a spark and let the rest of the children that you birth and take care of fuel the flame. That's why my money is for my children's children, and their money is for their children's children. When you know how to set it up right, man, you know, things like trust and stuff like that, you're gonna have those kids gonna be mentioning you. And now we're in an era where I can be on social media. My grandchildren might be looking at this motherfucker right now 115 years from now. Like, damn, granddad was cool as mo. Yeah, I got to put the shades on while I was talking shit. So you have to have the intestinal fortitude to be brave enough to try something new, to get something different, to get out of that neighborhood. Because in some of these situations, a lot of y'all gonna die anyway. Whether you get hit by a drunk driver, or some female set you up to get robbed and the gun go off, or some girl give you HIV, or you rapists out here running trains on these women that don't know how to deal with men. He's like, oh, she'll jump off, she'll hoe. Man, she just likes you. She don't want to have sex with your homeboy. But you so goddamn convincing with your sly ass because you was raised by a woman, so you got feminine energy, so you know how to use your masculine appearance with feminine energy to fool a baby with feminine prowess to do something stupid. You know? But the biggest thing, I really do think this draft thing, I think it's a good thing, man. I really do. I think it is a good thing. I can't see nothing wrong with it. You can go on, let me tell you something. There's something called a thrift savings plan. There's something called a 401k. You're a brand new private on the street. I don't care where you from. You came from a rough neighborhood. But you somewhat physical fit. You used to play ball. You used to play football, whatever. So you know how to run. You can do some push-ups, some sit-ups, some pull-ups, some leg lifts. You can do that shit. You got a clean uniform. Have a good, clean appearance. Be in the right place, the right time, in the right uniform, in the right state of mind. And dog, I guarantee you get promoted. You get paid. Take your money and split that shit into 30, 30, 30, 10. 30% in your savings, 30% your checkings, 30% you can put toward an investment, like your TSP and your 401, 15% here, 15% there, and 10% you can blow it on whatever, because you're prepared for tomorrow, today. And you can do that plan for 8 to 10 to 12 years, and I guarantee you. And keep in mind, when you're in active duty, college is free. Any online course you want to take, Jeezy gonna pay for it. You know, people from my peer group, we call Uncle Sam, or the government, we call him Jeezy. And the reason why we call him Jeezy, because Jeezy pay. Jeezy done sent us some stupid places, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Jeezy done deployed me to some really dumb places. But it's like Las Vegas. If you make it out, man, you're gonna get a big jackpot at the end. If you don't, then your family gonna get $500,000. Either way, somebody that you know and love gonna be paid. But it's better to sacrifice, and some people gonna be disagreeing, man, fuck that government shit. Well, a lot of y'all on the government system. You eating government cheese, buying government groceries with government goddamn debit cards. What's different? In chips, you know? So you could be in the military for 8, 6, 10, 12, 18, 20 years. You max out your TSP, your thrift savings plan. You max out your 401k. You take college online either from August to April, which is the winter, or from April to August, which is the spring and summer. If you like your summers, take it in the winter. You know? You take your course, you get your doctorate within 6 to 8 years. You are either pin on green and gold, a lieutenant or captain after 6 to 8 years. You ride out, lead the military as a major with a doctorate degree. And do you know what you got in your 401k and your TSP? You got at least $3.5 million, almost $4.2 million. So now, and then you got to think about it. You came in at 18. You spent 30 years in the military. What's that make you? Was it 58, 48? When you retire? You know what I'm saying? Like you cooking and booking. So you leaving with $3-point-something million, 30-year government career degree. I've been out here walking out in these woods with these soldiers. And you got your health, you got your wealth, you got your education. Now you can go out there and find you a plot of land, build you a 5,500 square foot house with a basement, entertainment center, and an indoor gun range with a ventilation system. Put the ventilation system in there or you're going to mess yourself up, all right? You can have yourself a nice little indoor gym in the basement. You can have some dojo, jiu-jitsu mats, because you have to have something that you can focus on, whether your hobby is craftsmanship, woodworking, welding, auto mechanics, computing, electronics, coding, jiu-jitsu, boxing, taekwondo, Muay Thai, Kung Fu, Chinese boxing, wrestling, track and field, them Spartan runs. There's a lot of things that you can, discipline that you can have on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, something that you do that keeps you focused, that keeps you physically fit. Because guess what? Death, karma, bad luck, and niggas don't give a fuck what you doing. When they say they want to show up, they're going to show up. And I call everybody a nigga. If you vibrate at a low frequency, but that's not the true definition of it, but that's just the nigga definition of it. But the biggest thing that I'm saying, man, you talking about, you can go in this joker 6, 8, 10, 12 years. You can get your doctorate degree. And when you get your doctorate degree, you can sky's the limit. You can come out with your $3.5 million and create a business. And don't just create any business. And I'm not picking on y'all. If you got something you can sell and it's easy to resupply, but we really need to be able to sell machinery. We need car dealerships. We need people who can sell medical supplies to us and actually see that these medical supplies are actually worth it. People that can do mechanic training or carpentry, construction. And, that's what we need our men doing. And I know you ladies, y'all in the cosmetology, but ladies, I'm going to tell you like this. A lot of the guys that I roll with, upper middle class, whatever you want to call it, we don't like the lashes. We don't like the caked on makeup. When your face and your hands are two different colors and you are out of shape and you got a big old body, ain't nobody looking at you. Nobody gives a damn you got a master's degree. I can't fuck your master's degree. And whatever money you make, you ain't gonna share with me anyway. I don't give a damn about that. That's why men want youthful, young, physically fit women in their feminine who we can take care of and they take care of us. They talk life into us. My wife talks life into me. Daddy, you got it. That's all I get called. King, daddy, baby. The only time she called me out my name is she mad. She said my first, middle, and my last. Like I was a bad child that didn't come in home on time. The street lights was on. But I ain't heard that shit like 15, 20 years. But, you got to have a woman that talk life in you. That woman talk life into that man gonna go out there and get it. I guarantee you will. If you pick the right man. Pick the wrong guy, and you have bad results. Baby mama drama, baby daddy drama, And ladies, stop sleeping with men with multiple kids from multiple women. You looking stupid. You looking pretty dumb. And it's not a pick-on session, but the biggest thing I wanted to say is that our people like discipline. Man, every time I see a young man with dreads and braids and he playing with his hair, that dude full of feminine energy, man. All he need to do is get high one time, a boy do something questionable to him, he rainbow for the rest of his life. Because he's got no track. He's got no discipline. He's got no vector of experience that says, I need to project myself this way. He doesn't have other males to look at. Men with houses and cars that are physically fit, good physiques, got good looking women, wives in shape, where he can goddamn say, I want to be like that dude, man. I want to be like that cat. That's who I want to be like. He don't have those things to look at. And it's sad, That's what fathers are for. We got to set the example, man. A real dad will go out and lay the road. His son will go out and pave the road. His son will go out and put signs on the road. That's how generational wealth works. Something you made, you create and cut the path for, the kids and the ancestry behind you going to go in and improve it. And that's how you do it. But I have nothing against them, and it's a draft. I volunteered. And a lot of y'all think I'm crazy, but dog, when you got 5 streams of income and you just working because you want to work, and that extra income goes toward, family trips, 401ks and TSPs and, venture capital and freaking, real estate and properties, repairing these properties with these crazy tenants in it. You start to realize, like, damn, I didn't realize life could be so easy so quick if you do the right shit at the beginning of your life. You don't wait until you're 35 and 26 to start doing shit. It starts at 13. 13 is where it starts. Did you know back in the day, I guess AD or BC, they used to take young men from their mamas at 7 and age 6 and put them into combat training. So by the time that young boy was 13, he was an infantryman. An infant that tried to be a man on the field of battle. Most of them started out as archers. They weren't physically fit and they were flat-footed. They learned how to fire arrow and hit men from far away, which is now our present-day artillery. You know? But life starts at 13, man. You should have it down. By the time you're 13, you should be able to cook, wash clothes, clean the house, vacuum. You should know something about auto mechanics, rotating tires, pumping up a tire, being able to change a tire, knowing there's something underneath, or change out the air filter, change out the oil filter. You should know some of this stuff. You got the internet in your hand. I be wondering, what are y'all looking at other than girls shaking their butt on Instagram? You have to get focused, man. Don't let pleasure drive you. Let prowess and power and that ability to make it, take it, and do it drive you. Because if you chase money, pussy gonna always follow you. You chase pussy, drama gonna always follow you. Chase the money, man. Because everybody look attractive when they're making $250,000 a year. You know what I mean? Yeah, you gonna look good. I don't give a fuck who you is. Now, I might have to go to the dentist and get my teeth denzeled and stuff, but yeah, man, you look good, bro. $250,000 a year, you gonna always look good. Get a nice big house, little pool, little lake, little swing sets behind it, little game room time. I'm not bragging. I'm talking life into you brothers, man. There ain't nothing wrong with being in the military. Look, y'all got ops. The only reason why most of you brothers got ops is because y'all sharing saliva and fluids with the same goddamn female. He red, he blue, she purple. Both of y'all doing the do. She get burnt, both of y'all get burnt. And she got a third party. She got a sugar daddy. She got a dick daddy. She got a protection daddy. Women got different identities of different men taking care of them. You ain't the only one that's there, especially if you're in the hood. Everything's misunderstood in the hood. I'm just saying, I don't see nothing wrong with the whole being thrown in the military. Pick a good job, man, because they are setting you up for success. They are, man. America is not doing well. And I was telling some colleagues not too long ago, they were saying like, oh yeah, our company ain't paying us that much. I said, but y'all got to realize it from the CEO's perspective. Man, that bitch get $400 million or $4 billion annual. I said, look, check it out. Y'all can't hate on him or her because they put themselves in the right position, whether they're with the right color or the right education or the right output or not. You can't hate on them because if they're trying to make sure that company stays up, sometimes you got to take a pay cut. Because if the other company buys your company and you get fired, where you at now? You back on that assembly line or back on that damn line trying to find a job. You know what I mean? So my biggest thing is, I say get with Jeezy, man. Jeezy pay, man. As long as you stay healthy. Like, and there was another thing you said that a lot of brothers don't go to the hospital unless they're getting ready to go to the emergency room. Man, I'm here to tell you, I'm not saying you got to go to the gym. All I'm simply saying, if you're a simple life type of dude, just try this. Try to have no meat Wednesdays and Mondays and Fridays. You can do your meat Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Try to fast on Sunday. Do a water fast on Sunday. Go to bed early on Sunday. Try to every day wake up, do 25 to 50 push-ups, 25 to 50 squats, 25 to 50 leg lifts. You know, go out there and shadow box. Get used to using your hands and feet, because one day a woman and a child is going to rely on you for protection. And if you can't provide that, dog, let me tell you something. I seen a lot of niggas get their ass whooped in front of that woman. That woman was gone. I don't give a fuck how much she loved you. Once she seen you catch a fucking from the front, and I got that term from prison. I wasn't in prison, but I was a counselor in prison. And bro, let me tell you something. Listening to the stories a lot of them young boys had in prison back in the day, man, it was worse than being in combat. When I say it was worse than being in combat, it was worse than being in combat. Them brother stories gave me PTSD. I had one brother, and I hope he don't see this video. Brother told me, guy got between his legs, told him to lift his nuts, and the toughest shit this brother could tell that man was hurry up. That's sad, man. That's really sad that we got men in there trying to sleep with men. They up there inserting themselves in and trying to imagine that you a girl. Got a knife in your ear canal talking about, you better kiss me. He up here tonguing up a man with a mustache and beard. I wouldn't do that to gross you out. But I'm just saying, this is a lot of experience these young men go through. And these are young men that sold stuff like weed. These weren't violent criminals. You know, they got caught shoplifting. Now they in the goddamn a bed with a concrete and a little mattress, and some dude laying in between their legs, talking about lift your nuts. And most of the dudes that rape guys are lifers. Lifers rape people, man, because they ain't gonna never see a woman again. That's why they crawling between these young boys' legs and spraying perfume on them and telling them to lift their nuts and imagining that they're women. And when they're ready to go, they don't pull out. Imagine what that psychologically does to a man. He ain't no man no more. I'm sorry. You can lift weights, squat, play football, dunk on niggas all day. You ain't gonna never get rid of that memory. Trust me, I done had enough experience talking to enough people to do it. There's a shadow behind that man. They ain't got no brightness behind their eyes no more. They kind of dead inside. And if they could commit suicide, they would. Because they can't believe, how did this happen to me? Yeah, I was a sexual assault counselor in prison. And I wish I never took the job. I took the job because it paid $75 an hour. I was like, man, just to work in a prison? Man, that's the shit. Hell no. I wish I'd have never took that shit. 3 to 5 year contract, $75 an hour to listen to the worst shit you ever heard in your motherfucking life. And a lot of times them guys don't want to tell. So I got to go to Burger King and buy 20 to 15 different Whoppers, buy these damn Whoppers, cut them in half, just so they come and sign the sheet and tell me something. Tell me a little something, any goddamn thing. As long as I got the signatures, I'm going to get paid. I felt bad for doing it, but you got to do what you got to do. The hustle is the hustle. I just didn't know it was that bad. But that experience gave me what I needed to fuel my life to ensure that my children stayed the straight and narrow, because I don't want none of my boys or girls to experience that crap. Same way with the girls. They be taking mop handles and broomsticks, trying to force penetrate them girls through their colon or their vaginal wall and cervix, and they get it in there so far and then they break it. These women are crazy. People in prison are crazy. And they're criminals for a reason. For you guys who get pulled over and falsely accused, think about it. How many times you ever seen a man, he been in there for 15, 20, 35, 45 years and DNA evidence freedom. The cop that falsely accused his brother is either dead or finally got caught. So they had to go through all his cases. And they found out that one white guy arrested 6 black men for this and that. And the detective was in on it. The lab was in on it because, they paid him by solving crimes. That's how they rank. By getting collars, by giving you tickets. Because if they ain't doing that, they ain't doing the department no good. That's how they make their money. That's how the judge make his money. That's how the lawyer make their money. That's how the district and the defender all make their money. By putting you in a place you ain't supposed to be. And the place they like to hunt the most is a place where people ain't got life insurance, or people ain't got homes, or people are living off of other people's property. You're renting, You got a landlord, But my biggest thing is, life has to start somewhere. I don't know who was the man that was the man. All my men on my side of the family were in the military. Everybody had a big house, big car, and everybody was capable of sending children to college. Everybody got a college degree. There was only maybe 1 or 2 people in my family that didn't go in the military. And it's obvious. It's fucking obvious. But I just want you to understand that going to the military ain't a bad thing. I have a lot of friends that I grew up with in the hood. Like, man, I should have did that thing, dog. Man, look at you, dog. Every year they see me, when I either come back from a deployment or I come from a different location overseas, they're like, man, I see you as something new every time. And it don't be nothing new. It be something, one of my kids' cars or something old. And understand, I'm not saying this as a bragging point. I'm showing how much leverage a good paying job, education skills, having discipline, foresight, projecting your life positive, vibrating on a higher frequency, can get you in places you're like, man, how did I get here? I mean, when I bought my wife our second or our third house, the look on that woman's face like, man, we doing it this good? Like, yeah, I guess we are. But you have to have a woman that compliments you. I make the money. My wife makes sure my credit score is high. That's what she does. She makes sure we don't have debt. She balances out, what we purchase. She saves us $150 to $50 a month for the kids' birthdays and little trips to Disneyland and freaking, traveling overseas to Cairo or Africa or Egypt or some shit like that. We put away $150, just so we can splurge that on the kids, or give them that experience. Now, don't get me wrong. I discipline my kids like I'm from the projects. I light their ass up. I crush them. I don't play that. You may live in a great neighborhood, but I come out my mouth with a flam, and it's because I was trained that way in the military. A lot of NCOs and officers used to blast us, and when we did good, they kissed our ass. Yeah, and they bragged on us. Yeah, that's my soldier. That's my troop. That's what I'm doing with my kids. And it worked well for me. You know what I'm saying? So my biggest thing is, man, if you want to have a good life with a good wife, you have to set the standard first as a man. That's why he put us here. I don't give a fuck about that Adam and Eve story. But one thing it does say in that Bible is man charged us with the responsibility of standing on that wall. 15 to 45 are your warrior years. Those are years where we take care of our women, we raise our children, and we protect our elderly. Because they already did their time on that wall. And we got to train the children for them to take our place on that wall. And each generation got to be on that wall. And the wall is just a facade. The wall could be success. The wall could be protection. The wall could be moving forward and getting out of bad areas. The wall is the wall. But if we constantly got our women talking crazy about our men and our men talking crazy about our women, and women, black women saying white men are better and black men are saying white women is better, and we totally diluting our race, maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. I don't know. I know what I want. I want my wife. I know I wanted me a black woman because I didn't want to be birthed out of a different race. So I'm not going to do that to my kids. Y'all don't know, man. A lot of the mixed breed kids I talk, and it's not an attack on y'all. It's just when you have more than 100 people share your experience with you and they all saying the same shit, you have to conclude that must be true to them from their perspective or their viewpoint. And you know, they get picked on by the blacks. The whites try to punk them out because they ain't black enough, you know. But they are good looking because you mix two races together, they get some really good looking features. But they have issues with the sun and cancer sometimes. It depends on, you know, when it's a black dad and a white mom, not so much. But when it's a black mom and a white dad, maybe some. But I'm not saying, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to make parents regret that, but I'm just simply saying, man, what these kids go through as mixed breeds, they kind of by themselves. They their own race, their own culture. I'm pretty sure in the next 30 years, they're going to be their own culture. They are now, you know. I think y'all call them, what, team light skin? And dark skinned people get judged, but dark skinned people be making people think the shit about them is true. You have to be clean cut, man. You can't be sagging your pants. You can't be just talking with your mouth open and looking stupid all the fucking time. You know what I'm saying? We're beautiful, melanated people. All of us are. And you gotta get away from the what is it called? The rumors of what they attach to your race. You gotta disapprove that bullshit, man. You know what I mean? Like ladies say, I only go date a man 6 feet, but some of the best fighters in the world ain't 6 fucking feet. Now, MMA and kickboxing, yeah. But if you go to fucking like Pride, they got a guy named Mickey Mouse. No, Mighty Mouse. That's a badass brother. I wouldn't want to roll with him, even though he ain't in my weight class. Mike Tyson. We had a group of soldiers. We got volunteered in Seattle or Washington State. And we had a sparring session with Mike. Now, we ain't spar with him, but we got to put on body armor and let the champ hit us. And I'm saying to myself, thank God I had that body armor. I could not believe how much power this brother could generate in a body shot. And so when people talk about Mike get ready to fight Jake, I don't give a fuck Mike's 50 or 60. I know what he was hitting at 20. And I was already a competitive fighter. I could not believe what he was throwing through that body armor. I was like, oh my God, this dude is real. But I learned how to generate that same type of power. I mean, later on in life, but I was pretty impressed with Mike Tyson, man. You know what I mean? And when you see him up close and personal, you're like, wow, he's an intimidating dude. I don't give a fuck what his voice is. That brother is intimidating, man. He is built for war. You know what he looks like? What are those statues where it's just the big heads? He looks like that's his ancestry for real, brother. But, you know, a lot of us, we don't know where we come from. Hopefully we'll find out through time because, like I said, the internet is undefeated. But the biggest thing I wanted to say, man, and I know, oh my God, 40-something minutes. Oh, shit. The biggest thing I wanted to say is, to young men out there, man, you got that phone in your hand. You can do college online. You know, there's so many grants out there. There's so many ways to just get it. And a lot of time people want to call you lazy because the counselors in school don't tell you about all these grants. You got to go and find them. But if you go to white school, they present you with letters, emails, and everything for grants. They don't pay for shit. And I think we need to, as a culture, as a people, we need to fix our fucking self, man. We really need to fucking fix ourselves. The shit we doing makes no sense. And if you need some motivation, man, think about what your grandma and grandfather had to do to get your parents right. What your parents had to do to get you right. What you got to do, what you need to do to get your children right. So that they can get their children right. So that you can become a champion and a hero to kids you ain't gonna never meet. The purpose of planting a tree is to plant a tree for shade you ain't gonna even enjoy. And if you can't see life like that and think like that, then chances are you're not gonna do well. Being selfish does not help you in this world. Having selfless service do. I realize as a man, I'm about to put my children in a car and stay the long haul behind and stop whatever's coming after my children for them to make it. Yeah, my children gonna be sad. Yeah, my baby's gonna be mad as she driving off. But the point is, I realize that's my duty in detail. That's why God gave me this body, gave me these big muscles and these bones and structures. It gave me all this stuff. I realized that I was put here to lead, to protect, and sacrifice if need be. You know what I'm saying? I was put here to bring a certain amount of the American dream into a home, to create a home, to build a home, to buy a home, to make a home, so that those kids will have their memory. Because if they don't see it, just remember that if they can't see it, they can't be it. If a young man doesn't know what a man is, he ain't gonna be one. If a woman doesn't know what a wife and a woman is, she ain't gonna be one. We got a lot of bad examples going around, and it's getting worse and worse. And sometimes you got to say enough is enough. And I don't give a fuck y'all come out after this Gen X. Bro, you gotta understand, Obama was up here. Michelle was up here. Well, y'all think she's a man or not? I don't believe that bullshit. I hope not, but I can't be sure, but I don't believe it. We're the ones that said the earth is flat. We're the ones that told y'all NASA was lying. We're the ones that made the cell phone. You know? Our parents made the computer. All this high-speed shit y'all got, we gave it to you. And we didn't even get to enjoy it while we playing Nintendo with 4 buttons. You know? But y'all got all this power to your hand. Fucking use it. Be into the data era of coding and computers, because that's what we're going to. They got robots walking around. They got self-driving cars and planes. You have to be in that field or you ain't going to get nothing but unemployment. That you need to be in a business that sells gadgetry and electronics. You know, these things out here, they got people out here selling tennis shoes, kids in the shoes. Kids, the reason why they try to focus on selling to people 27 or less, because y'all don't know where money is. Y'all don't know what to do with money. Y'all want to look like money and ain't got money. That's why they spend their time selling you. They know a dude like me, brother, if it costs more than $40, $60, I'm not getting it. That's not a dad's price. Even though I can afford it, I can afford the expensive. I don't get it because I'd rather my children have it. Now, don't get me wrong. I buy my guns and my cars and my fitness equipment and, you know, things that I need as a man to function. But I don't need much. I don't need much, man. You know, when you really find the time on the right rhyme and dime, you start to realize the more successful you are, the less time you have, man. You do. I see struggling motherfuckers last forever. They live on and they enjoy that struggle. But when you really start to know what to do with money and you figure out what to do with money, you start to realize like, damn, bro, I'm old as shit now. And so you got to really focus and incorporate yourself to getting things done for your future's bloodline, man. You got to be a great ancestor. And in order to be a great ancestor, you got to be a great person. Brothers, go out there, find your fortune. And between the ages of 27 and 36 to your tenure, get as far as you can before you try to find a wife and create a child. And I'm telling you, man, you chase the money, you're going to be able to have a Rolodex of women to choose from. You are. Some are going to be good women, some are going to be bad women, some are going to be unknown, and 1 or 2 of them might be wifey. That's the selection you've been given. Ladies, work on your fitness. Keep yourself in shape. Stop eating shit that tastes good and eat stuff that is good for you. Because y'all with these body wraps and these lashes and these wigs and these weaves and all this thick paint on your face, and you don't know what's real. Like, I can't tell the difference, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just keeping it 100. I can't tell the difference between a transsexual, transgender. Whatever one that chops it off and puts other things on plus makeup. Or leaves it on and has groomed their body to the point where they have women arms or woman physique. You can't tell because the real woman wears all the makeup and the man who's trying to be a woman wears all the makeup. Y'all look exactly the same. Y'all think about how much money women spend on nails, hair, all this. Think about how much money y'all waste on trying to look right for other women, because y'all ain't looking right for men. Y'all buy the outfits and y'all put the things y'all put on so y'all can crush other bitches. We know that. I don't think the young boys know, but us older men know that. You know, that's what y'all do. That's why me as a husband, I make sure my wife has all the tools she needs to crush other bitches. because that gets me coochie coupons. When my wife can pull out blazing sword, like Voltron, and crush a bitch, or do the Lionel thing, thunder, 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 ho, and crush bitches. Yeah, the women like to crush bitches, man. Women are horrible, but it is what it is. I don't care, but that's what women like to do. I just enjoy the prizes that come with her crushing other bitches. But man, men are meant to be the answer. We're also the biggest questions, because women want to know what men want. We're simple creatures, lady. If you're in shape, you feed us, you talk life in us, and I can have sex with you 2 to 3 times a week, pretty straight. You don't want your man to cheat, keep his balls empty. Can't get an erection if his balls is empty. But you got to be a good-looking, satisfying-looking woman to keep his balls empty. You can't just be anything. Women think that pussy is pussy. No, it ain't the same. Making love to a woman that you're into and making love to a woman you're attracted to are 2 different things. It is. One is temporary and the other one's is longevity, But I don't see anything wrong with that, man. I'm sorry to make this so long. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to post this. But I don't see anything wrong with it, man. I think, at least for our men, we need to start, because I don't believe in the whole we shall overcome march. I believe if every man get his shit together, get his money right, buy his land, his property, his house. I mean, they say now a house is a dumb investment. I don't know. Or you can rent and just live on the high roller side. But either way, you are getting what you're supposed to get in physics, philosophy, psychology, financially, physically, morally, mentally, educational-wise, leverage, communication, networking. Get your shit, brothers, because if we all getting it, what can they do? Nothing. But I think most of the time, when you look at animals that are afraid, they herd together. Predators roll in packs, prides, 5, 6. You don't need 50 motherfuckers, because 5 quality dudes will fuck 50 piece of shits up. They will. They run right through them. You take 5 dudes and they'll run through 50 people like it ain't nothing, because they're quality, not quantity. And I truly believe if every man gets his mind and his money right, and he has the right woman on his side, and you living in the right location where your children can actually grow and have a childhood, brother, that's a blessing. And what's going to happen, you raise them children right, you're going to be able to do like we do, still our grandchildren, and have fun with them, because that's what grandparents are for. You're supposed to be the extra money. You're supposed to be the excess for successful offspring. I ain't talking about struggling as offspring where your kids are constantly asking for money. For successful offspring. Because a successful offspring is going to have your successful grandbabies. And them successful grandbabies going to have successful children, which are going to be your great-great-grandbabies. And if you live your nutrition and you did everything right, you're going to be able to see your great-grandchildren, man. And I think that'll be a great blessing. I really do believe if every man get it like he's supposed to get it, you got your firearms, you got your arms right, you got your mind right, you and your lady is good to go, and y'all got plans on plans. No matter what America throw at us, man, they can't defeat us, because success is in the blood. 4,494 talents from 400 years of ancestors. Your mother's fathers, mother's fathers, mother's fathers, mother's fathers are still in you. They are inside of you. Use them, Try something new. Brothers, y'all should learn how to cook. Y'all should know how to cook. I mean, actually, just to be honest with you, ladies, what's the best wine people? Men. What's the best chefs? Men. Who designs the best clothes? All them designers, y'all, whether they're gay men or straight men, y'all buy them from men. Vera Wang ain't doing that great. There's more men in that field. I was amazed to find out how many men in gynecology and women are not. That should be a field that y'all should be particularly in. There's not a lot of female surgeons, But I really do think, man, and I feel that you leaving high school, you don't have a federal crime, because it's not easy getting military. People think it's easy. One, you have to be able to pass ASVAB. You have to be physically fit. You can't have no criminal record, and you have to have some type of discipline where you're willing to take orders and listen to people who are going to direct you, train you, and teach you on what right and wrong looks like, and how to do this skill and that task and that task, and come back and report to me and say, well, what was it? 100%, 60%, 70%, glide path, That's what it is. And that discipline is going to carry forward. And if a lot of y'all leave your negative povertized area and you get into some different areas, imagine how proud your parents going to be, or single parents going to be. Imagine how great your life story is going to be. Because when you go from struggle to hustle to real muscle, man, that's a great story to hear over some expensive liquor. It is. It's some great shit to hear. I really do believe, because I have a network of guys. It ain't a lot of us. The Jump Off Command, I think TACJOC, we got maybe 60 guys. But we all gonna shoot. And it's nice to go on a golf trip somewhere. You know, you sharing liquor, and everybody got the individual time. We got my man on the grill. We got my man on the drinks. We got my man setting up the kitchen. And we in there, we talking about life. We ain't talking about fucking sports. We talking about what's next. You know, while we preparing for what's now. You know, it's great to see other brothers your color, you look in the eye and they sharing their story with you. Men need to have that bonding time. So you be like, I ain't alone. I know I ain't crazy. Sometimes you need that mental health check, man. You may suck at golf. Who cares? Somebody gonna teach you how to play golf. We got a guy, we got a dude to teach boxing. We got a guy to teach a little MMA. Got a guy to teach some martial arts and kickboxing. You know? You learning a different skill. We got a guy that's good at auto mechanics. Man, you ain't got to spend that money on this. Go to this website, buy that part, and that'll fix it. We're sharing knowledge. That powerful network is great, man. And women, y'all can do it too if y'all ain't hate on each other so much. But men, we have that hierarchy. We know who's in charge. And we know who's second in command. And we know who the emergency contingency is, the designated survival is. But I really do believe, man, you go out there and get done what you need to get done. And get you some cop friends. I always get me a sheriff. I don't play that shit. I keep a sheriff in my fucking phone. So just in case some young boy pull me over and think he gonna niggerize me, I'm gonna put him on speaker. Hey, man, what's going on? Nothing, just getting pulled over. Just want to see what you... This look like it's one of your boys. Oh, what did it look like? Jay Bryant? Oh, all right, I'm gonna listen in. Yeah. Hey, sir, how you doing? Get my ID card. Yeah. Get my driver's license, registration. You know, I have no idea, sir, but whatever you need me to do, I'm willing to do it. He don't even know his boss's boss is listening in. And sometimes you get to go, all right, you have a nice day, sir. You too, brother. All right, take it easy. You know, but if you get one of them haymakers, hey, man, your boss is listening in. Put him on speaker. Matter of fact, let me FaceTime him real quick. You good, dog? You straight? Okay, have fun. You got a network, baby. That's how you get power. You got a network. Go to the Republican Party, local elections. Go to the Democratic Party, local elections. Go out there, break bread with people, get to know somebody. You never know who's trying to help you out. Not everybody's racist. There's some networks in there, man. I got a shitload of white boys that's ready to, if something happened to me, you gonna see them, dog. All 11 of them. You fuck around, find out. I don't give a fuck what color he is. Let something happen to Lord J. And wifey tell him the details. Oh, somebody gonna come see you, baby. It'll be the last thing you see. Bunch of white dudes standing over your bed in camouflage. Story's over. So yeah, you got a network, man. And brothers do too. But I don't think nothing's wrong with it, man. Military community, I'm not saying that we hate civilians, but y'all don't think like we do, man. You know, I think it takes a lot for a young man to raise his hand and say, I'm going to fight for a country that don't give a fuck about me. Just so I can be prepared later in life to take care of my wife and my children. In that order. Get a wife first, then get the children. Not the children, then the wife. You know? There's nothing. Sometimes bravery, the universe and karma rewards you for bravery. Now, don't get me wrong. I got some regrets to a lot of combat actions I've been on. You know, when I found out that we were thieves stealing oil and gold. They told us it was 9/11. It was other shit. But you live and you learn. But I don't care what nobody said. If I can go back in time and do it again, I'll still take the same fucking path. Because I'll look at the outcome and the results. So I don't see nothing wrong with it. Man, go out there and go work for Jeezy, dog. Because ain't nothing else out here. If you don't plan on being a respiratory therapist, a lawyer, a doctor, a chemical engineer, a IT, a coder, or a person that works in graphics design or construction, plumbing, electrician, or mechanic, or, you know, people who got these side hustle jobs where they come by and fix your car, fix your house. If you don't plan on doing that, you ain't got nothing but Jeezy, baby. Because the only thing left is the drug game. You know what the drug game gonna put you at? Gonna put you in them damn cells, sharing it with a roommate, or some dude to come visit you with a poker in your ear, trying to lick your mouth, telling you to lift your nuts. And the toughest shit you can tell that motherfucker is what? Hurry up. Y'all enjoy your weekend. I love you and have a good day. Peace. If I offend you, my bad. But this is my truth. I'm an old dude, man. I'm from the 70s. And we spit it like we spit it. There ain't no rumors here. I don't think I'm giving you is an experience and my perspective. And you can disagree with it, but outcomes is outcomes. I got outcomes. that you can visibly see. You know, some of y'all got wishes, and some of those wishes ain't gonna come true. So, you know, sometime be brave enough, take a risk, go in the Air Force, go in the Navy, go in the Army, go in the Marines, in that order. Try Marines dead last, because Marines fight. They know. Marines fucking fight. But peace.